Hey everybody, happy Tuesday evening to everybody watching. Couple things I want to announce before we get to the main subject here. Number one is happy 60th birthday to Kevin Ogilvy, aka Navek Ogre, the frontman, lyricist, and stage designer for the iconic industrial band Skinny Puppy. Ogre has been the frontman, lyricist, stage designer, and basically most visual member of the group since their foundation in 1982. Word has it that they're going to be possibly going on the road pretty soon there. They have already a gig lined up at some music festival, probably in a couple weeks or a couple months. I'm not too sure. I got to look it up there on the internet. And it would be nice for Puppy to release a new album and do a new tour soon there. Their last release was in 2013, and that album was called Weapon. Feel free to look for that album, as well as other classics like The Greater Wrong of the Right, Too Dark Park, Bites, Remission, the one that got me hooked on them, Cleanse, Fold, and Manipulate, Vivisex 6, and Last Rites. The Process, you name it. There's a whole catalog that they have released it throughout the 80s and 90s and 2000s. Definitely find them, listen, and enjoy. The second thing I want to announce is rest in peace to actress Kirstie Alley, who passed away yesterday at age 71 thanks to cancer. She was remembered for her roles in the movies Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, Sibling Rivalry, the Look Who's Talkin' franchise with John Travolta, as well as her multi-year stint on the TV show Cheers. She came in as a replacement for actress Shelley Long, who departed from that series a long time ago. She'd been a mainstay with that program up to the very end. She leaves behind a son, a daughter, and two ex-husbands, one of them another actor named Parker Stevenson. So rest in peace to actress Kirstie Alley. Or Kirstie Alley, I meant to say. My bad. Now, one of the first things I did when we first moved into this place a couple nights ago is that we noticed on here on YouTube was selected clips and the full concert from the current Pantera lineup. As you all know, Pantera is back on tour. Phil Somlo, their frontman, and their bassist Rex Brown have enlisted guitarist Zakk Wylde from Ozzy Osbourne and Black Label Society and Anthrax drummer Charlie Bertonetti to fill in the shoes of Dimebag Darrell Abbott and his brother Vinnie Paul Abbott, who sadly are no longer with us. Dime was shot dead in 2004 during a gig in Cleveland, Ohio with his current band at that time, Damage Plan. Vinnie Paul died around 2018 or 17 there, I gotta look that up again, from a heart situation there. They're both buried alongside each other back in Arlington, Texas there. Sadly, I never got to check out their gravesite. It would have been a great honor to pay homage to those two guys for the great metal band that they put together in the early 80s. I guess it was Eddie and Alex Van Halen that gave inspiration to start their group, from what I understand. Now, I've seen many clips of the Pantera show down in Mexico. This was a while back there. Now, I sent my boy YR the full concert from that show there, and I'm still waiting for his response. Now, Pantera had been a long standard in the Texas heavy metal scene for years. They were regarded as one of the prime bands from the state of Texas when it comes to heavy metal. Other bands included S.A. Slayer, S.A. meaning San Antonio, and Houston's own Hellstar, featuring James Vampiro Rivera. In fact, a friend of mine on Facebook posted a little flyer back around 1984 advertising Hellstar at this particular club with special guests from Dallas, Pantera. And that was when they had their original frontman, Terry Blaze. Now, the Pantera reunion show, actually the reunion tour, I should probably say, because they're going on tour with Metallica pretty soon there. Some people have been saying that it's not really a reunion show. Some say this is not Pantera in general. It's just two main members of the group, along with a couple fill-ins. Well, let me explain that to everybody out there who says that. It's not really a reunion. It's more like a celebration of the legacy that Pantera established from the 80s up to the 90s. I mean, no other band has laid down the ground of the most powerful heavy metal throughout the whole 1990s. Especially during that whole decade when every other heavy metal band out there was like pushed inside, pushed away, kicked down to the ground, while all these alternative, sensitive, namby-pamby groups and artists out there were out there taking over the charts and the MTV world. It was good to see a pure metal band play some badass tunes, the guitarist playing some badass licks. I mean, Dime will always be up there with Randy Rhoads and Jimi Hendrix and many of the other guitar greats, including Eddie Van Halen. Now, for the songs that they did during this whole set, well, they pretty much did it good justice, I could say. Now, keep in mind, some of the sound quality was not all that good. You remember, this concert was filmed on a cell phone from far away there. But, I guess it's to say that Zach and Charlie did a good job channeling the power structure that Vinny and Dime did back in the 90s there. Now, keep in mind, there were a couple of basically, not really a mistake. I meant to say something else there. Detunings on a couple of songs. One of them for Cowboys from Hell, the song, title cut of the album of the same name, and their cover of Black Sabbath's Planet Caravan, which Pantera took to the charts around 1994. They did a great cover of that song, no doubt about that. You may remember that Pantera opened for Black Sabbath's official reunion tour back in 1999. That was an absolute success. Now, there was talk of the Pantera reunion with Zakk Wylde filling in Dime's position long time ago. I know Vinnie Paul was on that metal show with Eddie Trunk, and Vinnie Paul basically said, let's let Pantera be as it was. Let's not try not to bring it up again there. I think the reason he said that was because he had to deal with Phil Anselmo, who at the time he was still not on easy terms with. The two had a lot of issues between each other there, mostly Vinny there. Apparently Phil said a lot of shit about Dime, which still, I guess, if he was still alive, would be basically, he never really forgave Phil for those words, especially after Dime's murder in 2004. Now, during the show, there was a tribute to the whole band lineup there at that time. The beginning of Cemetery Gates was played with footage from your main lineup. being Dime, Vinny, Rex, and Phil. And then they kick into Planet Caravan. Now, I will say this, and this is probably one of the most complimented things I can say about both Zach and Dime. The way those two shred like they can, it's hard to tell the two apart. The way those guys can shred on that down guitars of theirs is just phenomenal. The only difference is that Zach Wild doesn't really use a Floyd Rose tremolo system like Dime used to do. In fact, I don't know if any of his guitars have any tremolo system. I mean, speaking, of course, of Zach's guitars. But credit to Zach Wild for paying homage to his dear friend there. Now, I'm sure the internet and YouTube, Instagram, and of course, Facebook or Twitter, whichever they are going to be filled with all these concert clips from this particular performance. All I can say is that if Metallica comes and Pantera is open, definitely get your tickets. You can definitely want to not miss this performances. That's for sure. So there's my thoughts on the Pantera Celebration Tour that's going on right now. Leave your thoughts and comments below. In the meantime, subscribe to my channel. Hit that like button and notification bell. I'll be streaming live later on this evening. Definitely come by and listen and hang out. In the meantime, enjoy your Tuesday evening. Bye-bye.